Hey, if you're going to throw out a first pitch, this is the way to do it. If you're a football guy, Peter King, Quad Cities River Bandits, and there it is. Peter, I thought you were left-handed. Aren't you left-handed?
No.
Do you write left-handed and throw right-handed?
I write left-handed, yes. And,
well, that would explain the right-handed throw.
I throw badly right-handed.
That was a strike.
The guy still should have caught it. It was catchable. It was a strike. It doesn't knuckleball doesn't spin in a pretty fashion, but it still hits the strike zone. So that was the Quad Cities River Bandits.
Quad City River Bandits.
Davenport,
we had a good
Iowa.
time. Davenport, Iowa. That's part of the training camp tour allure.
Nice.
Well, you have been going at it for a few weeks now. Currently, you're in Missouri covering the Kansas City Chiefs, not that far away, the Green Bay Packers. We were talking earlier about Jordan Love, his desire to get some contact in the preseason. I was taken aback, Peter, when we played earlier this week your conversation with Jordan Love, how big he is. What was your impression about how he looked when you saw him practice?
Well, two things. Number one, he is a big guy. He uses his mobility a lot in the pocket, the practice I saw. And I believe there's no question early on he's going to run more than Aaron Rodgers did. In the last 3 years, Aaron Rodgers averaged 2 runs per game. I think Jordan Love is going to double that at the very least. Now, they don't want him just naturally running the ball, but he's a bigger guy. But I'll tell you, here's the thing that impressed me, and I don't know whether it's a positive or a negative, but, when they talked about getting Jordan Love prepared for this season, one of the things that Matt LaFleur told me, he said, look, it goes all the way down to the cadence. When I had Aaron Rodgers, obviously he's one of the best guys at the cadence of all time. You don't need to do a lot of work with him on his cadence. He's fantastic. But starting this year, we have worked on the cadence a lot with Jordan Love. And it's hard to get a guy to be able to have the confidence to go up to the line of scrimmage and do the hut, because he thinks he's going to draw his own guys off, into a false start. So that was the thing that Rodgers did expertly. And I only bring that up, not because it's that big a deal, but it's an idea. There's 100 things they're working on to try to get Jordan Love up to speed. And how about this, Mike? They're doing it, probably his first 5 receivers that he throws the ball to, 2 tight ends, 3 wideouts, probably are all going to have been drafted since last year. None of them are 25 yet. So, I chuckle when I hear that, the Packers aren't rebuilding. We don't rebuild. The Packers are rebuilding. Totally. They're doing it from the studs up.
Well, Peter, I mean, does anything else matter with the Packers other than Jordan Love? I mean, because it seems like that's all you need to know about this year with that team is it going to work with Jordan Love or not? Is that your impression?
Yeah, I mean, they need to have a very good idea by the end of this year whether Jordan Love is the quarterback of the future or not. I'm not saying that they're ready if he has a bad year to get rid of him, but this year is all about the maturation and development of Jordan Love, and that's the way the Packers are. I said to Brian Gutekunst the other day, the GM, I said the Green Bay Packers are a continuum. You always worry about the future with this team. And I think a lot of people have said over the years, well, wait a minute, they always tried to load up with Favre and Aaron Rodgers and all that. And I said, they don't have Favre and Aaron Rodgers now. They're developing a new quarterback, so it's a good time for them, they feel, to develop a lot of other players alongside him. And that's the way they're approaching this year.
And look, they're going to do ultimately what they're going to do. Every football team makes the decisions they make in the best interest of the team. But they owe it to be patient to Jordan Love, Peter, because he's been incredibly patient with them. He's kept his mouth shut. He's caused no trouble. He's just been the bystander in all that ugly crap between the front office and Aaron Rodgers. He never asked for a trade. He never made a ruckus. He's waited patiently for his chance. They need to give him a couple of years before they would pull the plug on him. What do you think of that?
I think unless he is absolutely awful this year, he's definitely got 2 years. No question about it. But Mike, I think what you just said is one of the reasons why at their family night scrimmage last Saturday in Lambeau Field, 70,000 people, they gave him a 12-second ovation. And I think when you see that, and I just saw video of it, I was not there. When you see that, you just say, this is a crowd. This is a fan base that was ready to move on from Aaron Rodgers. This is a fan base that wants something new and wants somebody who is all in. And that's what they have with Jordan Love.
Well, I can't necessarily say I blame him, especially after what was going on there over the last 2 years. Hey, let's take it to another NFC North team that we know you visited, and that's the Bears. And Peter, they got DJ Moore now. They picked him up in that big trade to go down from number 1 overall. What do you think his impact is going to be with that team and with Jordan and with Justin Fields?
You know, Miles, just watching one practice, you can tell what the Bears expect out of DJ Moore and what I think he'll deliver. Now, DJ Moore is not a big receiver. He doesn't really look that much different from your average receiver in the NFL. But I will tell you this, the one thing that is displayed in the first couple of weeks of training camp is he does not lose 50-50 balls. He knows exactly the subtle things that a receiver has to do to get open and the little push-offs and excuse me. And the practice I saw, he made 2 catches of deep balls from Justin Fields where he was blanketed by a corner. And that is what the Bears really need. They've got the deep threat in Darnell Mooney, and they've got probably more of a possession receiver in Chase Claypool. I think this guy will quickly become Justin Fields' favorite target. One other thing I'll say about the Bears, that I think right now, the way you look at this team is that they're also in rebuilding mode. And Justin Fields, I think, has to show significantly more this year than Jordan Love has to show, because the current staff didn't draft Justin Fields. He's got to prove to them that he's going to be the long-term quarterback. He knows that. Ryan Poles knows that. Matt Eberflus knows that, the GM and coach. So that is the sense I got from there. But he is in a lot better position this year to do that. And also, for the first time in forever, Justin Fields is in the same offense 2 years in a row. I think that's important.
The long-term quarterback in Cleveland, whether they like it or not, is Deshaun Watson, thanks to his contract. Peter was in Cleveland talking to Coach Kevin Stefanski. Here's a little bit of Stefanski on his quarterback, Deshaun Watson.
What would you say 1 year ago to today is the difference in both Deshaun Watson and in coaching Deshaun Watson?
Yeah, I would hope that all of us, Deshaun, myself, all of us are just getting better every year. One more lap around the sun, that we're all getting better as players, as coaches, as people. As everybody knows, he's in a different place. He worked really hard on himself, both off the field and on the field. And then continuing for us from a football perspective to maximize the talents of our key players. And certainly that quarterback is an important piece of what we do. So maximizing Deshaun's talents along with what we feel are some really good players on the offensive side of the ball.
Easy to say, harder to do, Peter. What'd you see from Deshaun Watson during your visit to Browns camp?
You know, I think, Myles Garrett told me, and I think he summed it up well, that here's a guy who is in his first year with a new team. He is the headline all year in the NFL for all the wrong reasons. He is away from the team for 2.5 months, and he shows up, and oh, by the way, first game he plays is in Houston. And he said, how would you expect somebody like that to play? And he didn't play well over the last 6 weeks. We all saw it. And I think we're going to get a true sense of who Deshaun Watson is. Deshaun 2, I guess you'd say, or QB2, or whatever the cliche would be. That now we're going to see the kind of quarterback that, who's working harder than he worked in Houston. I think late in Houston, he had really checked out. And I think now you're going to see him play a little bit better. Has a receiver he is really bonded with there in Elijah Moore. I think one of the big questions is, how are the Browns fans overall going to react? And I think, we might all just shake our heads about it, but I think the Browns fans are going to be very supportive. As somebody with the organization told me when I was there, and listen, we had 93% season ticket renewals, which is above the league average. We raised prices on our seats, and we've sold out all our games for this year. So what does that tell you about our fans? Our fans, whether they've forgiven or not, they're ready to move on and watch football.
Yeah, as a native Clevelander, I can tell you, I know that the passion that people have for that team is unmatched. And, I still carry some of it with me, I guess, as well. But, you mentioned talking to Myles Garrett, Peter, and I'm interested this year in the Browns and Jim Schwartz, because I think there might be another gear that Jim Schwartz can get out of Myles Garrett. What's your impression of what he could do for that defense?
I think that's a great point, Miles. I think Jim Schwartz was a great hire. He is rejuvenated now after being away from football for a bit. The players really have bonded with him early on. I could tell talking to a couple of defensive players. So I think that was a really good addition for them. And I think really more than anything, the Browns, I got this sense, man, they're tired of being a sideshow. They just are. I think no matter how they're going to be treated on the road, at home, wherever, they just want to play football. And we'll see how it goes. But I get the sense that Watson has a chance to be significantly better, just not marginally better. And if he isn't, the Browns sign one of the worst contracts ever in the NFL.
Colts owner Jim Irsay provided us some entertainment a couple of weeks ago with the Scud missiles he was firing in the direction of running back Jonathan Taylor. It's calmed down for the most part, even though at last word Taylor was off-site rehabbing his ankle. How do you think this resolves itself, Peter, between the Colts and their star running back?
Chris Ballard's a very smart general manager. He's one of the best in the league. And he understands that the most important thing now is to turn the temperature down. So in the last week or so, you haven't seen or heard anybody talk about Jonathan Taylor, positive or negative. Hey, we'll see what happens. Whatever it is they're saying, it's nothing. And I think the Colts realize that they need to everybody needs to shut up. Let's get the temperature down on this thing. And then when it does go down, we're going to approach this and see if we could solve it for the season. Mike, I think they'll find a way to get it solved for this season. I don't really remember the last time that the Colts really wanted somebody to continue on their team and couldn't figure a way to do it financially. I think they're going to figure it out, and I think Jonathan Taylor will be in that lineup.
And they need him in the early stages of Anthony Richardson's career because they need to take as much heat off of their young quarterback as they possibly can. Peter, thanks as always for some of your time. We look forward to having you for the full 2 hours on one of these upcoming Fridays. For now, though, safe travels, enjoy the training camp tour, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.